doing good? We're on a short week this week. We have today's the players' off day. We met him yesterday, brought him in. There's no school, so we brought him in on a Monday, which typically they have Monday off, but we wanted to bring him in yesterday because there's no school, and had a bunch of meetings and lifting and got a lot of work done, watched the tape, studied it real hard, and then fed him and sent him home. We usually will practice on that day, but based on the game lasting 12 hours, we felt like we should give him some time off. So gave him off today, and then we'll be on a short week, minus a day. We'll practice Wednesday, Thursday, normal Friday, and then tee it up on Saturday. So that's the schedule for the week. Answer some questions.
What kind of complications does that pose for you guys? How's that? I mean, I know that obviously the schedule's changed, but do you guys do anything differently in terms of that to compensate for the short schedule?
You're just missing a day. Usually you have, 2 padded practices where you get some popping in. We'll just have 1 padded practice to where, you're getting half the amount of reps than you normally would. So it hinders you, but it's you don't want to hit them too much before the game, too close to the game. So if we would keep it the same, then we wouldn't have the rest day that we want. So we feel like it's more important to keep the routine the same from Wednesday through Saturday than it is to disrupt it closer to the game day.
Coach, were you surprised that Marshall handles your run game?
No, I mean, Marshall's got good players and they got good coaches, and are we happy with it? No, we're not happy with it. We didn't get things going the way we wanted to. Run game was. I'm not surprised, and it's a work in progress, and we're going to do specific things to fix it. Probably the biggest disappointment I had offensively was just blocking in general, which when you think about blocking, all you think about is the O-line, but that's not necessarily the truth. Some of the run game problems were running backs not blocking for running backs. Some of the run game problems were inside receivers not blocking for running backs. Our perimeter blocking was every bit as bad as the O-line blocking when it came to specific things. So the name of the game offensively is block. So we got to do a better job of that.
Is that just a mentality, or is that something that you physically go in and correct?
It's both. We gotta, one is being targeted right and being in position for certain, that which is coaching, and then the other thing is getting these guys to give effort and strain and want to do it, So it was very subpar, and we'll work hard on getting it corrected this week.
Yeah, some of your running backs that looked like against pass rush, they really came off their feet, tried to step into holes and knock guys back. Was that satisfactory, or was that better than you imagined maybe for a first time out for some of those guys?
It was spotty at best, which, and we've talked a bunch about how, we got 2 different types of running backs. We got the smaller guys that carry the ball and the bigger guys that block for them, but all of them need to pass protect. All of them need to run block. When you play that many backs, they're always going to be in position where they're going to have to hold their own. So it was subpar, both from a pass protection standpoint, as far as the running backs are concerned, and the run game standpoint.
Did you plan to use the 2 fullbacks as much as you did, or was that a result of what you received?
Nah, it's in the game plan. It's the same stuff we've been doing since we got here.
Did Lindemuth play?
No, he's been kind of banged up a little bit, and which results in hesitation, which results in Ryan Clark getting more snaps.
Haven't been able to watch the film. Did you pick up on anything you liked or didn't like that you hadn't really noticed as of Sunday night?
Yeah, the blocking was a huge disappointment. That's what we can come down. It can. We can dissect it as much as we want to. That's the number one component. Always has been, always will be. So it was way too spotty. Gino did a good job of making some plays. Some receivers ran some good routes and caught some balls. We did a decent job of converting third downs. We had no turnovers, which is spectacular. It would have probably looked a little bit better and a little easier if we had just, covered some people up and made a routine play.
After the game, you commented on Tavon's play as a slot receiver and would not compliment you. Was that more blocking or was that route running, or was that, was there an area?
It was all of the above. He's disappointed, and if you watch him on on 3 punt returns and a kick return, he looks like what he should look like all the time. And then you put on 50 snaps of offense, and it's a different guy. So he's disappointed, and look for him to work hard this week to get it corrected.
You talked about Ivan McCartney. Obviously, he came out and made several catches for you guys.
Played good, far from perfect, but took good snaps, ran good routes. When the ball was thrown to him, he caught it, got upfield. Was happy with his performance. Stedman kind of the same way. Stedman, as far as he caught 5. They both caught balls. They made some plays and all that, but that's half the game. The other half is playing fast without the ball, and like I've mentioned, approximately 275 times so far, we got to block better.
What do you see out of Norfolk State?
Not much, all the guys are back there game planning right now. This is our game plan day. We're a day behind, so I spend the next 8 hours, dissecting what they're doing and come up with a game plan. Those guys are back there right now, getting a jump on it. Defensively, they run the same scheme as what our defense does. The DC they got there and Jeff are buddies and the tough ball, and Jeff coached them, and so schematically it's going to be, again, that's what we're going to prepare for. They may come out and do something completely different, which most teams do, but it shouldn't be a problem being able to figure out what they're doing based on the familiarity that we have with our own defense.
This is the third time you've installed the offense. How did this first game compare to the first at Houston and the first at Oklahoma State? Were they same kind of mistakes made, or
Yeah,
different?
it was a different situation. The three previous years there wasn't the emotional tie with our opponent. And I gave Marshall credit after the game, and I give them more credit today. Defensively, they did a good job. Their scheme was good. They knew where they were going. They played fast. Obviously, they played hard. Their whole team played hard, and it meant a lot to them. It was a quality first game opponent, which made it difficult for us because, it's new to us. We got a lot of new bodies out there, and it's a new system. The one thing that kept it going for us a little bit is Gino's just experience. He's played a lot of football, and he loves to play the game, and got us out of some bad situations.
You get more out of a game like Marshall than say they switched these games in Norfolk State in terms of someone else?
Well, probably. It exposed some problems that we need to work on, and like's been said, and the same thing defensively and special teams as well. We sat in here and watched, 45 minutes of special teams tape with our guys, and it exposed some people, so until you play at that level and at that speed, there's some things that you don't know, so we learned a lot. Even though it was 3 quarters, we learned an awful lot about some personnel things and what guys can and what guys can't do and what they need to improve on from a technique standpoint. The effort was great. The assignments were relatively good. It's just technique and new bodies out there, seeing if they can handle the speed of the game.
You mentioned Tavon was good in the punt. The kickoff returns look like he should. Obviously, a very good game. What does a guy like Cecil Level do to get that special teams player of the week award? Because it's not as noticeable. Obviously, we did something.
Watch the kickoff team.
Yeah.
He was about 15 yards ahead of everybody else on our kickoff team. That's obviously tremendous effort, and again, it takes a situation like that to notice a guy like that, and he ran down on kickoffs, I think 7 times, and was clearly, playing at a different level than some of the other guys. And so then when you see a guy like that do that, then you look for other areas to get him on the field to get that kind of effort.
injury-wise, any concerns this weekend?
You know what, I won't know till tomorrow, you know, because today is a school day and a treatment day, and then, you know, they'll come in and get treatment today and tomorrow, and we'll have a meeting tomorrow to see if they can or can't practice, you know, and you know, we'll figure it out. And then the next day, we'll see if they can or can't practice, so it's too early in the week to tell.
I know you didn't play a whole game, but how did you think your team held up to the heat, conditioning wise?
It was a bit of a challenge. I think we were dragging a little bit. You know, we hadn't practiced in that heat a whole lot. It seemed like that was the hottest day of the year by far. But it was okay. You know, we just, you know, it's something that we're not incredibly accustomed to, but, you know, we were out in it, you know, 4 or 5 times throughout the week, you know, and you know, we didn't cramp. We didn't have to pull people out. It looked like we were just a little bit sluggish at times throughout the course of a drive, you know, not necessarily at the beginning of the drive, so it's just something you gotta work through.